Hey Superfasters, we are so excited to be live with you here tonight. This is the beautiful Dr. Penny Adams and my gorgeous co-founder Genevieve, and my name's Victoria, and we are here to talk about Superfast Diet and all things intermittent fasting. So we'd love for you to just comment, I'm here, so we know that you're here, and please put any questions you want at all. You have a free medical consultation tonight.
What an opportunity having Dr. Penny. She's awesome.
Yay.
Yep. Any questions? Particularly relating to weight loss and intermittent fasting, but hey, I can handle most questions.
Yay! So Dr. Penny is a GP who is practicing in Mossman here in Sydney. She also is often on television. In fact, today, Dr. Penny, you were on
I got the Today
Show.
The 5 a.m. wake-up call this morning when I was going to have a sleep in, and what time is it? I don't even know what time it is now, but if I drop off to sleep, just wake me up, girls, because it's been a long day.
And you were talking about supplements on Today's Show this morning.
I was talking about fish oil, and not a lot of evidence for it actually doing too much good for us, so save your money.
Save our money, that's good news.
Yeah.
Absolutely
It
great
is good news, and we love having fish in our diet too, don't we?
Well, we do, and it's a great part of an intermittent fasting diet.
It is.
Yeah, and I think that the idea is to get your calories and your nutrients from your food rather than spending a lot of money on supplements.
Absolutely.
Great advice. So this is part 3 in a 4-part series that we are doing live this week. And if you missed part 1 or part 2, the link will be in the caption so you can go back and watch it at any time. So let's just recap what we talked about in our Facebook Live number 1. So briefly, we talked about what the actual 6 categories of diets are, and 5 of them are really, really hard to do and may or may not work, but one of them is intermittent fasting. So we tell you all about that. We have a part-time diet quiz to see if fasting is right for you, and also we just tell you how intermittent fasting works. And number 2, we talked about the one thing you really must master in order to be successful, the 3 methods that we have on Superfast Diet, and we have a cheat sheet for you to download. And please today ask questions. This is your big opportunity to ask your burning questions. We've already had a lot of people give us their questions before, which is fantastic, but now's your chance to ask any question of all. And comment, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, so we know that you're here, because we'd love to just know that you're watching. So one of the biggest questions we get is, what can I eat? Don't they? They'll wait. If I had $1 for every time they ask me, what can I eat?
Everybody asks, what can I eat? So today we're going to be showing you what a 500 calorie day can look like. But not just that, we are also going to show you all of our 3 methods. So what our 3-day method looks like as well, and what our part day method looks like too. And we'll also be sharing the master plan, which is very excited. And we've developed that after years of research with amazing experts like Dr. Penny, for example.
Yay.
And remember, you can download the blueprint via the link in this caption, especially if you can't stay for the live, or you want to then keep that, so you've got that downloadable to refer back to. It's really, really valuable. So first we want to answer some common questions and concerns that people have. So, Dr. Penny, one of the biggest questions we get asked is about breakfast. Is skipping breakfast bad for you?
No, it is not. And I think I actually wrote a blog on this about skipping breakfast. For years we were told you have to actually have breakfast because it starts your metabolism. Wrong. Several years ago I was at a weight loss conference, medical conference, and that myth was dispelled. You do not have to eat breakfast. And in fact they said, if you are the sort of person who don't like eating breakfast, don't feel like it in the morning, then don't force yourself to eat it, because it's just extra calories that you don't need. So skipping breakfast, fine. I skip breakfast. I don't like breakfast. Maybe once a week if I'm with family, I don't mind having a breakfast out, but no, I have a skinny cap on the way to work and I don't usually eat much until after midday.
Yeah, that's like that because that's the part day method.
Yeah, that's one of the part day methods of intermittent fasting, and we'll talk a bit more about that later on in terms of maintenance. But yeah, if you don't feel like having breakfast, you don't have to. It's not.
Yay!
Isn't it interesting? Such a myth. I think Mr. Kellogg was behind inventing that.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I think Mr. Kellogg made a lot out of that.
I think he did. I think he did.
Lucille, hey Lucille, do you have to count calories for all foods? The answer is no, because it can be arduous counting every single calorie. However, when you first start out, we do encourage you to learn to count calories, because you may be overeating your portion sizes and be completely unaware. So in the beginning, we do recommend, particularly on a fast day,
Yes.
that you do count.
And if you don't like counting calories, you can do what I do and just eat the same thing on a fasting day. And then I've counted them once. I know what they are, and it makes it easy. But if you like to you do lots of different recipes, and there's a heap of them on the SuperFastDiet website, then you do need to know your numbers a bit.
Yep. That's right, especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the other thing too is that on most packets it has the calories already there for you. So it's easier just having a look at what the calories are saying on that. And also if it says kilojoules, you simply just divide by 4. It's 4.2 exactly, but just divide by 4 for a rough idea.
You can go on the internet and you can just Google it, a certain size portion of something, how many calories. I mean, everybody Googles all their medical stuff. Why not calories?
Totally. Exactly. That's what you did, Jen. You didn't download any apps in the beginning. You just said,
No,
Googled it.
I just
Same.
Googled
That's
it on
what
my
I did.
phone.
Yeah.
You don't even have to type it in anymore. You just go, hey Google. how
All
many
the apps
calories
come
are
up
in-
immediately.
In fact,
and
we
they're
did
all
that
saying
just
the same.
before
We
this
did.
live.
We were
wondering how many calories were in fish oil.
fish oil capsules.
Yeah.
So you have to count those because they're 10 calories,
10 calories
per capsule. But I've just told everyone on today's show that you don't need to take fish oil, so don't waste your calories on
Don't worry
them.
about it.
Yeah. Another question we had was about, or another myth was that not eating slows your metabolism. No, it doesn't. Not eating means that you actually burn off your glucose that's around in your system, and then you burn any stored sugars, and then you start burning fat.
Ooh.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And with intermittent fasting, you don't go into starvation mode because you're not fasting for 10 days. You're intermittently fasting, so you're getting that fat burn, and then you're having some calories, and then you're getting another fat burn. So yeah, all those myths. There are so many myths actually about
So many
about diets.
And here's an interesting question too. I'm menopausal. Kerry's asking, I'm menopausal,
Kerry.
so slowly, hi Kerry, so slowly put on weight. Will SuperFastDiet work?
Kerry, welcome to my
Oh,
zone.
this is you're with the right crowd here.
We are the menopausal treatment.
Did you know, Kerry, that the average weight gain, if you don't change anything, the average weight gain at menopause is 4 kilos. And can I tell you, it's here. You turn into the human brick. 4 kilos around here, and this is the bad fat. Fat on breasts and thighs is actually is not bad, but this is metabolized differently, and that's the weight gain that on average that you get at menopause, which means some people will put on 2 and some people will put on 10. Intermittent fasting is fabulous. It's an easy thing, an easy intervention to do to cope with what will otherwise be a steady gain through menopause. Absolutely recommend it. That's what I do.
Who wants
In fact,
that?
I never ever had to think about weight or diet or any of those things until menopause, and that's when I became an advocate for intermittent fasting, because it works.
Yay.
By the way, these are fantastic questions, and we're going to be rewarding you for your questions today. You will be able to, we have our giveaways on these Facebook Lives that we're doing, and today we are giving away a Will Yoga online membership for 3 months. So, and for 2 people, which is really, really exciting. So make sure you keep asking those fantastic questions. They're great.
Most
Helps lots of
beautiful,
people.
beautiful yoga program, and you can just do it in your lounge room. Just
Yeah.
divine.
Yeah, which is awesome. Oh, here's another good one. It's starvation mode.
Well, we just talked about
Oh,
starvation
sorry.
mode.
How to fit fasting into my life.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking about this earlier. I say, how do you not fit fasting into your life? It's less to do. If you're actually trying to lose weight, you can actually plan a very easy 500 calories. You can, my 500 calories is just about buy everything. You don't have to prepare anything, and that's 2 days a week. You actually don't have to think about food. Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
we often say it's the easiest diet you could ever do because you don't have to plan for it. You don't have to shop for it. You just
Yep.
take it anywhere.
Yep.
It's, once you know what you're doing, it's so easy.
Yep.
So easy.
True.
Yeah, so keep those questions coming, comment I'm here, and don't forget you can win yoga membership online. So we are actually going to show you what 500 calories looks like and a whole sample day. So shall we start? It's all here actually. So let's start with brekkie.
Talk about learning your calories.
My son's little teddy bear from when he was a baby. It's probably a christening present. So a boiled egg for brekkie if you want brekkie. That's just like 70 calories, nothing.
It's so easy to remember that an egg's got 70 calories.
Oh,
Yeah.
and it's so filling.
Yeah,
isn't it?
that, actually, because I think Jamie Rose, our dietitian, told us that because there's a lot of protein in an egg, it actually fills you up, and so you don't feel hungry if you have an egg.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
great. They're one of our favourites.
That's right. And also you can have for morning tea a punnet of strawberries. Like how good is that? With some
250 grams of strawberries equals 80 calories.
80
They're-
calories.
They're one, I know. See, they're one of my favourites. I take a punnet of those to work, and I do if I'm trying to lose a couple of kilos, then I'll do 5 too. For maintenance, I'll just do one fasting day. But that's what I take that to work because I need that sweet hit.
yes.
I can munch on those through the day. So that's why I know about 250 grams equals 80 calories.
Love it.
And I love to have these for my after dinner snack too. I save up some calories for that because that's when my sweet tooth hits.
And Jen, do you want to just show them the plain Greek yogurt
Oh,
there?
look, we
Chobani, we love Chobani.
We love this brand because this has got so many less calories in it than other brands. So that's a favourite for us. In fact, they make really great dips.
They do too.
Oh, and the dips, honestly, you can get like another dip that size compared to that size for the same calories. So it's about shopping around and finding different brands that, you know, give you more bang for your buck.
And that's what we help you with as
You've
well.
got to be careful with yogurt because sometimes people see a brand that's low fat, but then you actually look on the label and there's lots of sugar
There's
in it.
lots of sugar, exactly.
Yeah.
So you've got to
So-
watch the calories.
Yep.
Yeah. And fat fills you up, by the way, too. Good fats.
Yes, we're into good fats. And then for lunchtime, Dairy K soup or any soup. You can make your own soup, but I'm into convenience. These soups. There are all sorts of different brands. It's just one of our favorites, and you can get one serve is only 70 calories. Like it's crazy.
How many serves in a container?
This has got
There's
2
two in that
serves,
one.
and in
Okay.
this one there is 142 calories. But you can get other like the Thai pumpkins. only got
140 in the
100.
whole
thing.
So
Yeah.
double serves.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
Good,
good.
isn't it?
Again, you get other soups. You can get half the size for the same calories. It's again reading
Yeah.
the labs makes all the difference.
That's right.
But we had this for lunch today.
We did actually.
It's so filling.
I
That's what I
know.
love about it.
Yeah.
It's all
And
natural
then
too.
a little snack, popcorn. That's like nothing, about 30 calories, and that's really, really
Easy.
yummy and a good little something
Crunchy.
to chew.
Mm.
And then for dinner, you can have, obviously, fresh veggies is the way to go, and fresh salad. So these are just a cute little kebab, cute way of getting your veggies in there. And fish is always really good bang for your buck as well. So this is just barramundi from Coles, but you can get any kind of beautiful fish that you like. And this has actually got the calories on it, and it says it's just 100 calories.
100 calories.
Both
That'd be
fish
under.
for
That'd
one
be,
or both?
For one.
Okay.
For one piece of fish. So that is a lot, and we love this kombucha. And if you feel like having something different instead of a glass of wine on a fast day, this is only 23 calories, and I think it's got a little bit of alcohol in it, which is awesome. Or these beautiful fruit teas. You can actually put fruit tea, dunk it in sparkling water in a nice wine glass, and that's a really lovely drink with 0 calories as well. And for your information, this whole meal plan will be available in the comments with all the details.
But can I just point out that food that we were talking about, that's a fasting day.
That's a fast day.
That's a 500 fasting day.
And on your non-fasting days, you can have 4 times that amount of food.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's your fasting day.
That's crazy, isn't
Yeah.
it? Like,
So
the cauliflower rice, Jen?
This is awesome. Oh, look, obviously, if you're like Vicky,
Yes.
and probably all of us. If you're very busy, then this is just really convenient. You can just buy that already done in the supermarket. Or if you're at home and you just buy a fresh cauliflower, you can just grate it. It's just so easy to do, or just blend it up.
And zoodles are great too.
Just
Zucchini noodles.
This just bulks up your dish so much, doesn't it? And it's about bulking up your dishes and making it look like you've got more food. That's why we love the konjac noodles.
Oh, where are the konjac
They're
noodles?
next to you.
This is
Dr. Penny's favourite.
One of
These are
our
my favourite.
One of our favourite brands is Slendia, but they do rice. They do angel hair pasta.
I like the noodles.
Yeah,
The noodles.
the noodles. These ones.
These are my favourites because that whole packet, the weight of that is 25 calories for the whole packet, and you couldn't eat. If you couldn't eat a whole packet. I sometimes have had half a packet of that with half of one of those, and it's so filling. But you can make them into a stir fry. You can use them instead of rice. These 25 calories for the whole packet. They're fabulous.
It's so good. And you know that for your spaghetti bolognese, throw that in with your spaghetti bolognese. Heaps of veggies. It's a big dish. Hardly any calories.
And you use
Same with
turkey
that.
mince, don't you, or chicken mince, Jen?
That's another option to make it even lower calorie, but fills you up. So they're great, those options.
Yes.
Now we've got questions. Donna is asking, is having a teaspoon of sugar in your tea okay?
As long as you count it.
Okay,
What are
about
the calories?
insulin spiking thing?
Well, I mean, we've got to be careful with sugar, but I mean, if you really need to have sugar in your tea, then you've got to count the calories, and you've also got to count the calories of the milk. If you have black tea, I think that's calorie-free.
Nothing.
Yeah, yeah. So if you've got a bit of a sweet tooth, maybe have a fruit tea. And then, are there any calories in those?
Nothing.
No. But if you are going to put some sugar, or you could do a sugar-free option. You could do, what was the one that Jamie...
Stevia?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Rose likes stevia, doesn't she?
Yeah, so there are other options that'll still sweeten things without the calories.
Oh, Helen's just asking, what was the brand of the soup? That's it there. It's called Dairy Cake.
I was just saying to the girls, I always forget the name of that brand of soup. Yeah, Dairy Cake.
Dairy Cake, and there's other great ones too.
Tango
is pretty good, and there's another really fantastic one that comes into the pack, La Zuppa.
La Zuppa.
Oh, yeah,
They're really great.
Are they local as well?
Very.
Oh, gosh, I have to look at
They're
those.
fabulous. Yeah. Well, another question from Kerry. What are your favourite snacks on the go? That's a really good question, Kerry. I'm really glad you asked that question because a lot of people do ask about that. And I think that one of the favourites, obviously, is an egg, boiled egg. Take that with you.
Except that will get a bit smelly on the go.
Well, if you pop it in a little snap lock bag,
Maybe.
in your handbag, it's fine.
Okay.
Just don't forget. Just don't forget it's
You
there
leave
and
your
find
handbag
it
It would be
later.
smelly.
Yeah.
I like almonds, and I actually measure out there are 14 almonds in 100 calories, and I put that into a little snap lock bag, and I know that that's 100 calories, and that's actually really satisfying.
Absolutely.
Nuts are very
Nuts are
nutrient
great.
dense.
Yeah. Although, I see, for me, if you could have 14 almonds or 250 grams of strawberries, I would have. I actually have a punnet of strawberries, and those, they're very bit expensive, but those. They're 200 grams. I think the brand is Perino cherry tomatoes. They're really sweet.
Cherry tomatoes is a great
That's
snack.
40 calories.
Beautiful.
40 calories for the whole 200 grams.
Yes.
So they're
and
on my
really
snacks to
healthy
go.
for you.
Yeah, fabulous.
That's
Now,
a great
keep your
idea.
medical questions coming too, because we've got Dr. Penny here tonight. Such a fantastic opportunity to ask those medical questions. And Anna's just asked a medical question. So, how do you suggest people with Crohn's disease approach their fast days? Good
Okay,
question.
so Crohn's disease is an inflammatory disease of the bowel. I don't really think you need to approach it I can't see any medical reason why you can't do intermittent fasting in the same way as anyone else with Crohn's disease. People with Crohn's disease sometimes take prednisone, and that makes it harder for you to fast because prednisone does make you feel hungrier. But by the same token, if you're on prednisone, you might stack on the weight. So intermittent fasting could be the way to go.
Well, it's easier than other diets, really, isn't it?
Yeah, so I don't think there's any medical reason why you can't do intermittent fasting with Crohn's disease.
Good news, Anna.
Is Crohn's disease something to do with gluten?
No, that's celiac disease.
Oh, that's celiac disease.
I'm sure we'll get a question on that too.
Oh, good.
Yeah, no, completely different.
Paula. Hi, Paula. Paula asks, is it okay to do fasting if you have breast cancer in the family? I read somewhere that it can help. Is this true?
Okay, there's some talk in the cancer literature in general that intermittent fasting changes insulin levels, changes growth factor levels, and it might be that fasting actually has some sort of cancer protective effect. It hasn't really been quantified, but if anything, it's going to be a bonus and it's not going to hurt. We also know that obesity is a risk factor for breast cancer. So anything that can get your weight down is going to be decreasing your risk of cancer. And there is some evidence that perhaps intermittent fasting, dropping insulin levels, dropping growth, these certain growth factors could actually have an anti-cancer effect. So it's all going to help.
In fact, they're researching this at the University of Manchester right now. One of our doctors on our board of advisors, Dr. Michelle Harvey, she's one of the key people researching in the effects of intermittent fasting on breast cancer.
Yeah, especially combined with treatments too, I think.
Yeah.
There's a lot of research being done on all that.
Leanne,
there we go.
There you go. You knew you were going to get that question. How do you deal with celiac disease while doing this program, Dr. Penny?
No different to dealing with celiac disease when you're not doing this program. You just have to make sure that the foods you choose are gluten-free. So, you know, they're gluten-free, that's gluten-free, that's gluten-free, that's gluten-free, that's gluten-free,
and even
that's gluten-free. You couldn't have those because
they've got noodles in it.
Yogurt. So a lot of these foods...
Yogurt's fine.
Yeah, a lot of these foods here are gluten-free anyway. So you just, in the same way as you would deal with your normal celiac diet.
Great news. Keep your questions coming, and don't forget we've got the Will Yoga online program giveaway for you. Susan, hi Susan. She says, I want to try this diet, but I'm worried about skipping breakfast because I have to take medication with food. What do you suggest, Dr. Penny? Okay,
so if you have to take medication in the morning with food, you can't skip breakfast. But you can still do part-day fasting because you can eat from 8 a.m. through to 4 p.m. and then skip dinner. So you can have breakfast and lunch, and then a lot of the time that you're supposed to be fasting, you're actually going to be asleep. So you can do 8 till 4 instead of doing what I do, which is 12 through to 8. Or you can do the 2-day fast, so you have 2 days of 500 calories, and you can have food obviously with your medication in breakfast time, and and then do those decreased calories on those days, and then your 2,000 on the other days. So you can modify part-day fasting, or you can do 2 or 3-day fasting.
Yes, do it to suit you.
Yep.
And Robin, does fasting help with IBS, or can I at least try it? It won't interfere, will it? We were just talking about this.
I know, because you'll probably be able to hear my stomach gurgling at the moment because I have the worst irritable bowel.
I can hear it. I can hear it.
But
it's so loud.
Intermittent fasting is not a problem with irritable bowel disease.
Great.
Or irritable bowel syndrome. Sorry, it doesn't affect it, so it's not a problem. I'm a big fan, by the way, of iberogast, and I'm a non-herbal person, but they're drops. They're herbal drops, and you never hear me promoting herbs.
No.
But they've actually, iberogast has been bought out by a pharmaceutical company because it works so well.
Wow.
If I get a really bad irritable bowel tummy, I just take, I think the bottle says 20 drops 3 times a day in a glass of water, and I can't be bothered. When I think, I take 40 drops. So have a try of the iberogast.
Good tip, Dr. Penny.
Great tips.
Donna says, can you do intermittent fasting if you have Hashimoto's?
Absolutely. Now, Hashimoto's is a thyroid problem. Initially, your thyroid is overactive, and then it becomes underactive, and you end up having to be on thyroxine, so thyroid replacement hormone. And when you have an underactive thyroid, you tend to put on weight. Intermittent fasting would be fabulous for thyroid problems. Yeah.
That's
We've
great
had that
news.
question come up a few times. Yeah.
Annie, is it okay to do this program while taking the pill?
Absolutely. There's absolutely no reason why.
And want the pill more because your husband will want it more. That was completely inappropriate. Never mind.
No, there's no problem with the pill. And some girls actually do put on a little bit of weight when they take the pill. And so if you want to do that little adjustment, then you can do some intermittent fasting to get off that weight that you might have put on the pill.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's a good point. Caroline is asking now, do certain dietary requirements such as vegetarians and vegans need supplements on SuperFastDiet?
Well, I'm not a fan of supplements. And no, you don't. Look at the food we've got here. If you're a vegetarian, you can have that, you can have that. I mean, there's so many foods you can have. You don't need supplements. You just need to have a balanced diet. With vegans, you just have to be a little bit careful that you're getting enough B12 and iron. And if you, I say to patients if they're going to be a vegan, that it's probably worth their while seeing a dietitian, just having one session, so that they can make sure they've got all their food groups covered. A little bit less so with vegetarians, because sometimes they have fish and they'll have eggs and cheese. But yeah, I think if you're a vegan regardless of dieting, I think it's worthwhile seeing a dietitian. And if you're trying to lose a bit of weight, even more so.
That's really good.
But no
advice.
contraindication again for intermittent fasting.
Great. Linda, hi Linda. Do menopausal women need to keep their carbs lower?
It's not
That's
about
a
carbs.
really good question.
Okay.
It's not about carbs.
Wow.
It's about calories. It's how much you take in. So if you want to have your 500 calories in carbs, you could, although you'd want to have low GI carbs.
Sure.
Yeah, because we don't want things like refined sugar get absorbed really quickly, and then they cause a spike in insulin and they wear out your pancreas. So it's not really about different food groups. It's having a balanced diet and cutting down your calories. It's about cutting down your calories enough on a fasting day that your body thinks that goes into that process where it starts to burn off fat.
These are great questions, guys. So keep them coming. Remember, we've got the competition to win the Will Yoga online program, and on that program, by the way, they have beautiful meditation sessions as well. So I'm on that program. I love it.
Can you meditate? I'm not good at it. How about you?
It just takes practice.
I can do it, but yeah, it's still
monkey mind.
Monkey mind.
That's why the sessions on the program really help. We've got some on our program too, by the way, which are awesome. So that really helps you. But Jenny's now asking, can type 2 diabetics do the program?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, we've had type 2. Well, Shelley Horton.
She's going to be here on Friday on our Facebook Live.
Shelley, I think she talks about reversing her diabetes on one of the videos.
Completely reversed.
Yeah, she reversed her type 2 diabetes. If you're on medication, particularly if you're on, certainly if you're on insulin, then I don't think you should do intermittent fasting. But if you're on other medication, you might be able to do it, but you need to talk to your doctor about it. But if you're on diet controlled diabetes, definitely, and you might reverse it. Absolutely worth. It's losing that weight.
Yeah.
And this is Shelley, at her personal experience, you do need to talk to your doctor.
Absolutely.
She also, Sam, hi Sam, says that she heard Shelley talking about her PCOS in her video, and does it really help if you lose weight if you have PCOS?
Absolutely. Because when you have PCOS, and that's polycystic ovarian syndrome, it's a combination of difficult metabolism that tends to make you put on weight. You often have an excess of male hormones in your system, so you can get acne and problems with hairiness. But it also, that type of metabolism pushes you towards type 2 diabetes. So intermittent fasting helps lower your insulin levels and actually can actually help pull you away from PCOS metabolism. And the main thing about PCOS is it makes you put on weight, and then the more weight you put on, the metabolism sort of feeds on itself and makes it worse and worse. But the reverse is true. If you can lose the weight, then that bad metabolism actually gradually gets better and better. PCOS is a cruel thing, and I really feel for those girls who have it, and it is harder for you to lose weight than the average person who doesn't have that, but intermittent fasting is very good for it.
Shelley really talks a lot about that on our case study on our website, and she'll tell you about that. So if you have it, definitely listen to what Shelley has to say. She's got and she'll be here on Friday at 1 o'clock.
Yes, you can ask
on
yourself
Facebook
on
Live.
Friday at 1 o'clock.
She'll probably talk about that, I'd say. But Leah's got another question for you, Dr. Penny. She wants to know, can I still have protein shakes on fast days? What do you think about protein shakes?
I'm not a big fan of protein shakes because I actually prefer real foods. However, if you like protein shakes and the protein does fill you up, you can have protein shakes, but you've got to count the calories in them, and they're your 500 calories. For me, I'd rather have strawberries and tomatoes and things that I like. But if you like it and it makes it easy, you can do it, or you can mix it up. You might have one 500 calorie day where you do a protein shake day, and then the other day you do some other foods, or you might use a protein shake for a meal and then have some other food. It's just a matter of if it's 500 calories.
That's excellent advice. And watch the sugar content, because some of them can be quite high in sugar.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Kerry, would your program be okay for a person with, I actually even pronounce this, polymyalgia
How do you
rheumatica.
pronounce that, Dr. Penny?
Is that right?
PMR.
Oh,
No.
Thank you.
Easier.
Polymyalgia rheumatica. Polymyalgia rheumatica, another awful condition, is when it tends to be in older people, so probably 50s upwards, and you get these terrible pains in your, what we call your proximal muscles, your arms and your legs, so much so that you have trouble standing up or, lifting your arms up. And it's considered in the spectrum of autoimmune things a bit like rheumatoid arthritis. It doesn't affect your joints, it affects your muscles, but it's a nasty condition, can be associated also with a inflammation of arteries in the temple, and that can be quite dangerous. But the treatment for polymyalgia rheumatica is prednisone, and prednisone makes you put on weight. So absolutely you can do intermittent fasting, although again, like our sisters with polycystic ovaries, it's harder for you to do intermittent fasting when you're on steroids, because they do make you feel hungry, but they will make you put on weight. And so you can absolutely do intermittent fasting, although I will acknowledge it'll be a bit tougher.
Yeah, well,
And I
it's a
think
bit of
the
a
point
catch-22,
is-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you go on a calorie restriction diet too, that would be even harder, I imagine.
Oh yeah. And at least with if you're doing intermittent fasting, it's not all the time.
That's right. It's part-time.
But it's something to bear in
hard
mind,
to do.
because you're on quite high dose steroids to start off with, and you will stack on the weight. So if you want to keep watching the weight, I would definitely recommend trying some intermittent fasting.
and
Although
even if you're losing weight slower than other people, at least
doesn't
you're not putting it
matter.
on.
I was going to say, even if you're
Yes.
not putting it on, you're maintaining your weight. But I will acknowledge that's a tough condition, but intermittent fasting is a good option for that.
Good
That's
news.
right. Yeah.
Wendy says, is there anyone who can't do intermittent fasting, Dr. Penny?
Okay, let me see. You can't do it when you're pregnant.
Correct.
We don't recommend it when you're pregnant. We don't recommend it when you're breastfeeding. We don't recommend it for anyone under the age of 18 because they're still and people
Still growing.
when they're still growing. Certainly don't recommend it if you've got an eating disorder. Certainly if you've ever had anorexia nervosa or any of those eating disorders, you really need to steer away from anything to do with fasting. And as we mentioned before, for those people who are on medications that you have to have with food, yes, you still can do the fasting, but you need to be mindful of
when you're eating.
Yes.
All right. And by the way, we also have a great offer for you right now. We're actually offering a 7-day free trial. So if you wanted...
I know, isn't that exciting? We
I
haven't
know.
told you that yet.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's great. So you can jump on and you can actually see our recipes and meal plans and everything else that we have on our program, our exercise programs, our third pillar, which includes all the mindfulness and motivation, absolutely free for 7 days. So you can find out all of this on the website now.
And we also allow you into our closed Facebook group, so you can see all the amazing results that our superfasters are getting, and you can talk to them yourself.
Did you see that that fellow who's doing superfast, that posted the pictures of himself?
Yes, we did.
Wasn't that
Isn't
fabulous?
it? It's great to see the men jumping on board too.
Yeah. I don't remember your name, but your photos were fabulous. And
Stuart.
those abs at
I
the
know.
end.
And
Very
he
impressed.
just came back from doing the Boston Marathon.
Wow.
That was his goal.
Yes.
And so he lost 15 kilos
Yeah.
and ran the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
But he runs marathons all the time.
Yeah.
So it was the intermittent fasting that really helped him as well.
Yeah. No,
Isn't that
loved him.
It
fantastic?
was
Yeah.
great. Actually, Hugh Jackman
And
did it too.
we please keep those questions coming.
Oh, we
We've
have
got Dr.
a
Penny
bloke.
here.
Oh, Matthew. Ah, good.
Hey, yay!
Go the men.
Do you have to exercise to lose weight with SuperFast Diet? We often get asked about exercise and SuperFast Diet or dieting in general, and the equation is this: 80% of your weight loss is about what you put in your mouth, and 20% is exercise.
True.
So it's 4 times more important in terms of what you're eating, but exercise is still important. Exercise is good for your heart as well. It gives you a boost to your weight loss. It clears your head. And so I think definitely keep your exercise going. But if, for example, you've got an injury and you can't exercise, you can still do intermittent fasting. You can still lose weight because it's an 80%. Yeah.
Definitely. In fact, Jen had a broken knee
I did.
and
yeah.
still lost 30 kilos
That's right.
without exercising.
That's right. I couldn't
Yeah.
exercise because of my knee,
Mm.
and the weight just dropped off.
Yeah.
It wasn't a problem.
Mm.
And then when I started to exercise later,
Mm.
it was even easier. So
Yes.
it's just that
Yeah.
20% extra.
Ella, hi Ella. Ella asks, is it okay to do intermittent fasting if she's taking medication for anxiety?
That's a good
Absolutely.
question.
Yeah. No,
Probably
and
help you, wouldn't it?
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, anxiety is a horrible thing, but and hopefully the medication is helping. But there's no problem with doing intermittent fasting when you're taking that medication. I would also recommend. We just talked about exercise. I would also recommend that you make sure you do some cardio exercise because that's great for anxiety as well. Sort of burns up all that sort of negative monkey mind stuff we were talking about. So fine to do intermittent fasting on anxiety medication. I think there aren't all that many contraindications. One I didn't mention before was if you just had surgery. You don't want to do intermittent fasting when you're just around surgery. But,
Sure.
Once you're healed up, back into it.
And Kerry says, what about chronic fatigue syndrome?
Wow, there's some people dealing with some tough stuff. Chronic fatigue syndrome, there's again no contraindication to doing intermittent fasting with chronic fatigue. And in fact, some people say that when they are fasting, what happens, we talked about you start burning fat. When you start to burn fat, you actually produce chemicals called ketones in your body, and sometimes ketones almost make you feel a bit buzzy. Have you found that?
Yeah.
Definitely. I always feel buzzy on a fast.
Yeah.
That would explain it.
Yeah, the good stuff about the ketones is feeling buzzy. The bad stuff is it gives you bad breath. So make sure you've got some sugar-free mints, or you'll and drink lots and lots of water. Otherwise, you won't have too many friends.
Sometimes I get a funny taste in my mouth.
Yeah, that's the ketones.
That's the ketones.
A little bit metallic.
Yeah, it's a metallic taste.
So lots of water, and if you find that people are avoiding you, then sugar-free mints.
But at the same time, you can go, yippee, I'm losing weight.
Yeah, exactly.
It's fat burning.
Good confirmation. Steph says, could fasting help with postnatal depression?
No, I don't think fasting is an issue for postnatal depression, and depending on how long postnatal you are, you might be breastfeeding. We don't recommend intermittent fasting for when you're breastfeeding, but I don't think intermittent fasting is a problem with postnatal depression, but I don't think it's a treatment for it either. So if you want to lose some weight in the postnatal period and you're suffering from depression, I don't think there's a problem with intermittent fasting. I don't think it's a treatment for it either. With postnatal depression, you need to get some help. You need to see your GP and maybe see a psychologist, and sometimes you need medication. It's a tough one, postnatal depression.
Wow, these questions are coming in.
Yes.
This is fantastic. So keep them coming.
Questions coming.
Yes.
Great questions. Be helping so many.
This is like speed
It's
medical dating, isn't it?
It is.
They're just coming up so fast. Fantastic.
I wish I could turn through my
You can
patients
talk so quickly.
Yeah, wouldn't it be great?
so quickly.
200 patients an hour. Roland, I have thyroid issues. Is it okay to do something like this?
Absolutely. And if you've got an underactive thyroid, you're going to start putting on weight. I mean, obviously we give you thyroid medication to help with that, but sometimes it takes a while to find out that your thyroid's underactive and you've already stacked on the weight. Intermittent fasting is fabulous for that.
Wow.
So that's great answers, Dr.
Now,
Penny.
we're going to give Dr. Penny a rest for a minute. I think.
Poor Dr. Penny. You can relax from your speed dating, helping
Medical.
patients. We have 3 super pillars: super fast, super food, and super life. And we have a downloadable for you to get. So don't forget to do that. Let's just recap a little bit. So fasting, our 3 different methods work on the basis of reducing your calories by 20%. And all 3 methods work equally well. It's just basically simple. It's stretching out the time not eating. Superfood is all about the importance of real food instead of packaged food. It's not like some weird, things in the Brazilian rainforest.
It's important to point that out. It's super because it's fabulous, but it's not superfood.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's
It's super
right.
because it's got lots of nutrients. Is the point.
But these are superfoods. They're all superfoods.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And they're all foods that you can get in your supermarket. You don't have to go to, some
Special
crazy
shops.
special shop.
Yeah.
And Super Life, Jen, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, well, it's my favourite really because I think it's all very well. We can tell you what to eat. We can teach you about which methods of fasting will work, well for you. But you know what? If you're not motivated to do it, then that's not going to happen.
Yep.
So we've devoted a whole 3rd pillar to that mindset, that motivation and lifestyle. Because another thing that's really important, which also affects your weight loss, is having enough rest, isn't it? As well.
Yes.
You can probably talk to that.
Well, there's all sorts of studies that show that when you are sleep deprived, it changes the whole hormonal feedback from your gut to your brain, and it's really hard to lose weight if you're sleep deprived. So it's important to get your sleep. I mean, if you're not sleeping well, doesn't mean you can't try it, but it is harder. We're actually talking about all these things that make life hard in terms of health, but yeah, so far there's not many that are a problem with intermittent fasting, but you will find it harder. The other group of people who find it hard to lose weight is people working shifts.
Yes.
Shift workers, because you get all these weird hunger hormones making you hungry, so it is harder. But that's when I think making it simple and knowing your 500 calories and think, right, that for the period of time I'm awake, that's all I can have. It does make it a bit easier.
It's all about flexibility. That's why we call it the part-time diet and the unbreakable diet, because it's about being able to adjust that to your life. And we actually have a lot of shift workers on our program.
We do, nurses.
And I think it's because they can work it in really well.
Well, I think it's because when they do shift work, they've got funny hours and they put on weight, and then they realise that intermittent fasting is a way to get sort of a bit of routine back and actually be able to lose weight at the same time.
And instead of being tired and just grabbing chocolate bar out of the vending machine, you're prepared with your boiled egg and everything you brought with you.
That's right.
Don't forget, we've got a 7-day free trial. All you have to do is go to our website and all the details are there. It ends on Monday, so you've got to get in before Monday.
It's only 1 week.
Have you got any other questions to ask us? So we're coming up towards the end now, so please ask your questions. So while we're getting some more questions, Dr. Penny, could you just run us through a few little health benefits of intermittent fasting?
All right. Well, obviously with intermittent fasting, you're going to lose weight, and if you lose weight, it's good for your joints, for your blood pressure. It can reverse diabetes, or at least help treat it. You can cut down your medication. It's good for you mentally to be. That's just purely weight loss. We know that intermittent fasting can help down-regulate insulin, and having excessive insulin levels is on the way to diabetes. And again, we know that whole insulin story and excess insulin is possibly tied in with the whole Western types, the so-called Western cancers, prostate, breast, bowel. Let me see.
What about gut health?
Gut health?
There's been a lot of books.
I don't know a lot about gut health. You might be able to tell me about that. I know that the gut biome's all very trendy at the moment, but I'm thinking of just garden variety things that help.
That's true.
But tell me about gut health.
Well, I just know that there has been a lot of talk about how it really helps with gut health.
Yeah.
So but I think you're right. We also want to just look at your garden variety as well.
Yep. And losing weight, blood pressure, as I said, diabetes, your joints. People don't realise. Often I'll have patients who come in and for whatever reason, they need a knee replacement, but they're not well enough. I say, if you lose 5 kilos, that's the critical weight for often not being able to, just taking that weight off that joint with not needing to have a joint replacement and actually being able to move around.
I'm sure that's why I had a broken knee. Because I was carrying 30 kilos.
Yeah,
wow, you think about pressure. A packet of potatoes and how many kilos that is. Imagine 30 kilos sitting on that knee.
2 kilo packets, so that'd be 15 packets of potatoes.
Imagine that.
Ridiculous.
One day I'm going to strap a whole lot to my body and I'm going to see what it looks like and feels like.
Let's do that for our next video.
Let's do that. We're going to do that.
You can actually get those suits.
Oh.
I've seen them at weight management seminars where you put the suit on and it's just...
We have to get one of those.
Oh, we're going to get a suit.
It's exhausting.
Stay tuned. We're going to get a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
but also, just that's all the physical benefits, but the psychological benefits of losing that weight and feeling good about yourself, and wearing different clothes, and and that self-loathing that goes with when you stack on a bit of weight. So there's a whole lot of psychological benefits as well.
There's nothing like waking up in the morning and thinking, I can wear anything in my wardrobe and feel good.
It's been a while since I felt like that.
Oh, come on!
We've never seen such a fabulous wardrobe as Dr. Penny.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yeah, but my days of those skinny jeans have long since gone.
Rubbish. That's absolute rubbish. Kerry has got an excellent question. Does having wine interfere with the diet?
Depends how much you have.
I have been known
we
on a
love
really
this
bad
subject.
day to have 500 calories of wine.
Yep. Yep. And that's the beauty.
She's so naughty. She's so naughty.
But if you want to lose your 500 calories, how many glasses of wine would that be?
It's roughly 90 calories
Depends how
per
big
glass.
the glasses are.
Yeah, well, if it's like that,
How many mils would that be?
it's about 90 calories for a standard
Is
glass.
a standard glass
glass.
100 mils or 250?
120 mils actually.
Yeah,
See, a
100
standard drink of wine is 100 mils, which is teensy weensy in the bottom of the glass.
Yeah.
A normal glass carries about 250.
You got to watch restaurants because they tend to give you a glass and a half.
They do.
Yeah.
I like those restaurants. But you can have wine. It's just that you have to count it in your calories. And sometimes, I don't know about you girls, but sometimes when you have one or two, which you're not supposed to ever have more than two, but perhaps every now and then we slip up, and then you sort of lose your resolve. So I don't. If I'm doing a fasting day, I have an alcohol-free day because you're supposed to have 2 of those a week anyway.
Right.
And so I do an alcohol-free.
It's a great way to combine it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right.
Awesome.
But then on the weekend, you can certainly go and have your glass of wine and go out to restaurants and enjoy yourself.
The main thing is to count the calories, isn't it?
That's it.
It's really the main
and
thing.
whatever you're having, you can sort of have what you like, although there's healthier options, than others. But if it's 500 calories, you'll lose weight if you limit it to those calories.
You can get some wines that are low calorie too.
Yeah.
So that's another
Our
thing.
early harvest, I think, is one. Lindemans, early
Lindemans,
harvest.
yeah.
Low calorie and low alcohol.
We've got a very good question here from Tony. How much water do you need to drink in a day? Oh, there's the irritable bowel.
Oh, there she goes.
Basically, this whole thing about drinking 8 glasses of water a day is rubbish, and I suspect it was made up by bottled water companies.
Oh, wow.
Drink when you're thirsty, but bear in mind if you're on a fasting day, you can sometimes get a bit of a headache. So drink more water, but you don't have to have 8 glasses of water. I often have patients coming in saying, "Oh, Dr. Penny, I'm really worried because I have to go to the toilet all the time." And I said, "How much do you drink?" 20 glasses a day. And I said, "Well, that's why."
It's not rocket science.
Yeah, so you don't, that rule about 8 glasses is not a scientific rule. Drink when you're thirsty, and on a fasting day, drink a bit more water because it helps you not get a headache, and also it fills you up a little bit. But all of those rules about how many glasses you need, drink when you're thirsty. And obviously, if it's a hot day and you've been for a run and you feel thirsty, drink water.
That's true. Yeah.
Keep asking more questions. Katie says, does it matter what time of day I eat my calories? The answer is no, it doesn't really. Except if you're on the part day method when you have to eat within an 8-hour window.
Yeah.
But for the other methods, it doesn't matter at all. It will work exactly the same.
And don't forget, if you're on the part-day method, you've got 1,600 calories to play with. So you've got triple what's here, for example. And we've got that in our downloadable too, so what you can eat.
Sometimes, and I'm just putting it now. I mean, I do a 6-1. I'm not doing a.
You're maintaining.
Yeah, I'm maintaining because I tend to be a little bit naughty on the weekends and eat a few things or maybe drink a few things.
Are you a bit naughty on the weekend?
That I shouldn't.
I couldn't believe that about Dr. Penny, could you?
Yeah, I have a bit of a lash out. And if I kept doing that post-menopause, I'd just gradually, stack on the weight. So I do 6-1. Every Monday for me is a 500 calorie day using all these techniques. So that becomes your maintenance. So 6 days a week. I mean, I'm not eating masses of, food, but if I do eat a bit more on the weekends, then I make up for it with an intermittent fasting method, and that's my Monday. So lots of strawberries and cherry tomatoes on Monday.
Tell us what you eat on your Monday day, fast day.
Okay.
Yeah, what does Dr. Penny eat? That's a good question.
I get up in the morning and I go for a run with my running buddies, and I have a skinny cap. Yep. And I think that's about 70 or 80 calories.
Yep, 70.
Yep. And then I'm usually sort of so busy at work then that I don't usually eat until lunchtime. And lunchtime for me is a tin of tuna, but not in oil. Get the one in
the spring water.
Yeah, I actually get the one in brine, which has got a bit of salt, naughty, but I like it better. And that's about 90 calories. And I've got a pint of cherry tomatoes, and I'll eat some then, and then I'll have some with my dinner. And I often have a boiled egg with those. Some people feel like they need to have a hot dinner. I don't, but if you do, you just boil the egg straight away. But there's not a lot of work in boiling an egg.
No.
And what else do I have? I have a pint of the strawberries. So that's 80 calories. What am I up to now?
Not many. About
No.
350 something.
And then I have a store of those soups. But I'm going to get the other ones, brands you mentioned.
Yeah.
And I have these.
These are fabulous.
And if you mix
brilliant.
half of those, that's it's 12
10
calories. Yeah.
I used to put a packet of those in the soup.
Yeah, but I couldn't eat.
It's like huge.
That's
You can't even
Can't
get
eat
through it.
Well, then I
No.
might just have half of that, and then I'll
Yes.
take the rest for work next day. So,
Perfect.
and I'm still not even up to 500. I don't think.
That's so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe no. I won't have the one for extra.
It's been done. But anyway,
I'll lose my
Cheeky, Dr.
resolve.
Penny.
that's why it's
It's my
unbreakable.
AFD that day.
Linda says, when is ketosis? When is
is
ketosis?
ketosis?
When is ketosis? Do we need to up
Up
our
our
salt, potassium, and magnesium to stop keto flu?
I've never heard the medical term keto flu, but I think I know what you're talking about. If you're eating lots of fruit and if you're eating a balance of fruit and vegetables, you probably don't need extra salt or potassium or magnesium. Oranges are a great source and bananas are a great source of potassium. Some people of the more mature years sometimes get cramps.
No one here like that.
Yeah, and whilst I've been saying I don't take supplements, I do recommend to patients if they're getting cramps that maybe a magnesium supplement might help with leg cramps. We used to give people quinine, but then we found it had a potential to stop people's hearts, and that was always
Gosh, that's not good.
yes,
That's not good.
yes, you put up with cramps, and so we don't tend to prescribe that now, but magnesium can be good for that.
Oh, that's great to know.
But when on a fasting day, I don't take any supplements.
I do actually find I like a salty drink. Like I will have a Vegemite soup or a bowl of soup. I know it's not for everybody.
I just have broth.
You have
Clear
broth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to fill up. It
Yeah.
works wonders.
But I do like a little bit of extra salt on a fast day.
Yeah.
That's just how I
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing
maybe,
medical about it.
well, I wonder maybe if your blood pressure drops a bit, and maybe you need to make sure you keep your fluids up.
That's why.
But you don't actually have to. Have
That's
that
true.
fast.
And don't forget, we have a 7-day free trial. Go to our Join Now page and it will tell you all about it.
You can just try the program out, and you'll have
Yeah.
all the recipes and meal plan. And we've talked a lot about basic foods today, but we've got some fabulous recipes on our program too, and they've been designed by fantastic recipe writers and chefs. They're actually some of the best in Australia.
And the video with Jamie Rose, the dietitian, she had. Actually, I was talking about my boring, limited what I eat, but it's convenient and easy, and she was showing us those.
She's
Pad
made pad thai.
Pad
She
thai.
makes pad thai on a
Yeah.
fast day.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Check out her Instagram, Jamie Rose Chambers. She's got
Yeah.
loads of fast day
As
recipes
well.
on that.
As well.
Janine says, I lost 8 kilos but have now plateaued. How do I kick
don't you hate a
start?
plateau?
Question. Good
Yes.
question. Yeah.
I'll leave you. You girls are the expert at that. Well, Jen, what did you do?
Absolutely. Oh, well, I've mixed up all the methods.
Yep.
So I found that when I did the 2-day method, I did it for about 8 months.
Wow.
And then I got a bit sick of it.
Yeah.
So, of course, I'd been researching a whole lot into it, or we had. I decided to try a different method, which was what we call the part day now, which is eating within the 8-hour period. And then I found by combining the two methods together, I was losing more weight.
Yeah.
So that's a great way to kickstart.
So is that doing a 500 calorie day, but doing it within the 16-8 restriction?
I did 2 days of 500.
Yep.
So I didn't do it within an 8-hour window on those days. But then the other days I did the part day, and it boom. it was
The other
worth
thing I
chuck
think
or
we should
treat.
point out is that if say you're doing every Monday and Wednesday as your 500 calorie days, if if you get an invite to some fabulous dinner and you think, oh, that was on Wednesday, well, do Monday, Thursday. You can switch around the days as long as there's 2 days in the week that you I was trying to remember what it was. It was Tom Cruise for the lamb dinner.
Well, that's fair enough.
Yeah, we're not going to say no to Tom Cruise.
But yeah, if you get a fabulous invite and you want to go out, well then you say, I mean, I've done this when I've been to work on a Monday and somebody's having a birthday and they've brought in some amazing cake, and I was thinking this was going to be my fasting day, and I thought, no, it's not.
That's
Tomorrow.
a great point, Dr.
Yes.
Penny.
Tomorrow will be my fasting day.
That's the whole point. So that's why we call it unbreakable, because you can't break this diet. Because if you have something on, you can just go do it the next day, and it will balance out over the week.
Yeah.
So that's one of the exciting things about it.
So if you've got any final questions, write them up now.
There's so
because
many
now's your
questions coming through,
opportunity, and we don't want to miss anybody.
Yes.
And remember, we will be hanging around also at
We will
the
answer
end
your questions.
to keep answering your questions even after we stop being live. Tony says, when you reach your goal, what do you do for maintenance?
That's what you were just talking
That's
about.
what, that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I do 1 day a week, because what happens is it's a bit like bracket creep. You get to your goal weight and then you start to you actually change your lifestyle and you go back to your old unhealthy lifestyle. So I do every Monday is a 500 calorie day, and it's a busy day at work, and I know what I'm going to be eating, and actually I can get it ready on Sunday, and it makes it easy. And so I do a 6-day eating just normally, and 1 day fasting. But Jen, you do, yours is different. You do.
Well, I like part day. So what I do is I probably do the part day, probably 5 days a week, but I let myself go on the weekends.
Yeah.
I go out for breakfast and whatever.
And have you found your weight stabilised at your goal weight doing that?
I've stabilised now for over 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
I tell you what's exciting about it is that it's so doable. Yeah. I don't ever feel deprived.
No.
And that's one of the biggest benefits that all of our members talk about as well. And it just makes it, you think about other diets, you feel deprived. Yeah. You don't feel deprived on this because it's so flexible and it's part-time. It's just part of the time.
It actually becomes your life.
It's
not really a diet.
And that's why
it's a lifestyle, really.
That's why I started, before I met you girls, I was talking about intermittent fasting because diets, most of my patients are on a diet for a while and then they think, I can't bear this anymore. They lash out and then they stack on even more weight than they started off with. Whereas intermittent fasting is a new lifestyle that lets you have a lash out if you want to, but then pull back. It's actually doable long term.
That's it.
Lucy, hi Lucy, says, can you explain the part day method again, please? Yes, of course. So part day is basically you're only eating within an 8-hour period. So you're fasting for part of the day. So for the rest of the 24 hours, you're not eating. But it's just so doable because you're sleeping for 8 of those hours, roughly. So what we do is we don't have breakfast. But if you want to have breakfast, you certainly can. You just go the other way around. So we don't have brekkie, but we do have a little skinny cap.
Yeah, our cheat is a skinny cap.
That's our cheat.
Yeah. But and you still lose weight. I need that caffeine in the morning. But so I have I finish eating by 8 o'clock at night, and then tend to go to bed early on those days and then next morning I get up. I often go for a run, so it doesn't mean I don't exercise, but then I'll have a skinny cap on the way to work, and I don't eat until after midday. And if you're busy, it's actually easier.
That's right.
I don't think about eating it.
And you can have 1,600 calories within that 8-hour period.
It's a lot of food.
You don't have to eat it all.
So you're not going to be hungry.
That's the allowance for the average female. Donna asks, will it mess up if I eat too few calories on a non-fast day? That was exactly what I was saying. You don't know. It won't mess it up. Nobody ever put on weight from eating too little. Truly. That's another one of those myths.
But you don't actually have to be cruel to yourself.
No.
If you I mean, some people find the 500 calorie days a bit tough, but with all these sort of options, it does make it easy. But I remember the first time I was doing it, I was finding it a bit tough. But then I used to think, well, I'm being good today, but tomorrow I can sort of eat, not without, but essentially what I want to eat. So I don't have to do this all the time.
That's right.
No. And if you want to try our program, it is free for 7 days. This is a very, very special offer for this week that we are running. And we're really excited to be able to spread the word and give you a taster, a free experience. And that finishes next Monday. So jump online now. Make sure you don't miss out.
You've got
any more questions? We're just about to wrap up, so please get those questions in. And we will be picking some people to win a free Will Yoga membership for two people for 1 month. So now that you understand the methods and you've got the blueprint, don't forget to download that. The big question is, how do you stay motivated from week to week? How do you do that? We are going to tell you how to do that live on Friday at 1 o'clock with the beautiful Shelley Horton. And she is going to be also telling you all about her story. She's got an amazing story. She looks incredible.
Doesn't she? And did you see recently she posted, I think on Instagram, the before and after photo?
Oh, yeah. Well, go on Shelley's Instagram and have a look.
And reversing diabetes.
Well, that's the best news of all.
Yeah.
That is the thing she's most excited
about. I know, I think we all teared up a bit when we heard that, didn't we?
It was just amazing. And she's got a wonderful story to tell, and we're also going to be talking to another one of our superheroes, Rosie, and she's going to be telling us all about her journey with losing weight as well.
I've got a superhero sitting right next to me.
Absolutely.
Oh,
30 kilos.
We're all a superhero here.
Every day. Superhero.
And I think we mentioned the other day we have so many superheroes on our program. So when you come in for the 7-day free thing, you'll be able to go into the Facebook group and you'll be able to talk firsthand with all our superheroes in there, all losing incredible amounts of weight. They're up to about 20 kilos just since January, a lot of them.
I know.
Amazing.
This gorgeous policewoman who had a photo of her coming out of her police uniform, and now she looks like a sexy.
In fact, she just bought her skinny jeans.
Oh, she did buy her skinny jeans.
She
That
got
was
a girl.
the best day of my
And she
life
got
when I bought my skinny jeans.
She got a new tattoo to celebrate.
Oh, there you go.
Very cute.
It's very cute. Before you go though, if you'd like to tell, what do you have in mind to celebrate achieving your goal weight? If you'd like to make a comment about that, that would be great, because we've got a surprise. We saved it to the end.
Oh,
This is our
surprise, Jen.
magazine.
I love this magazine.
It's so good. It's got beautiful recipes in it. It's got meal plans. It's got our whole program in it. It's absolutely amazing. We're going to give couple of these for free for the best light bulb moments from today.
Can I tell you about, you gave me a few of those to put in my surgery waiting room.
Yes.
They were
They've been stolen.
within about
I
an
knew
hour.
that was going to happen.
better
Within
give
an
me some
hour.
Here we go. Give me this one.
Because it's so beautiful.
I know.
Gone.
Dr. Penny's surgery on
I
it.
did. I wrote
I
it
still took it.
We had them in Coles and Woolies, and they were just sold out.
Yeah, really.
I just think they look so beautiful on the outside, let alone all this the fabulous stuff on the inside, all sorts of menus and plans, and they're great.
So we've only got a few left in our office, but we are going to give some away. You can still buy it online on our website.
Or you can come to my surgery and steal
Or,
one.
or steal one from Dr. Penny's surgery. So we will be sticking around to answer your questions. So even though we're going off live now, which is really sad because it's wine o'clock time,
And we have worked Dr. Penny very hard tonight.
not a fast day. So don't miss our 4th and final Facebook Live this week, 1 o'clock this Friday. If you can't watch live at 1 o'clock, we will be replaying it. So you'll still be able to watch it.
And we have a very special announcement to make on Friday as well.
Ooh, what's that, Jen?
I'm going to make it on Friday.
I don't know what that is. I will look forward
It's
to
so
that.
special. I didn't even tell Victoria about it.
Okay.
But Shelley, you'll really, really want to tune in for Shelley. She is so inspirational. And
she's fun.
She's so
Really
fun. She's so
She's
funny.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And yeah, she's hilarious, and she's just got the most amazing story to tell. And you'll want to hear about Rosie too. I mean, their stories are amazing. But we've also got some fantastic information for you on Friday as well, which is really, really going to help you so much.
Great. So we'll see you
we'll see
Friday.
you Friday.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye. Keep your questions coming.